Got
Hi
it.
everyone. All good?
Yes.
Okay. Hi everyone. Thank you for tuning in to our Mental Health Monday presentation. My name is Caitlyn and I'm here with Angela, and we are both mental health and wellness peer educators for CAPS, Counseling and Psychological Services. And our presentation today is going to be about mental health struggles for students. And then this is just an overview of what our presentation is going to be. We're going to touch on these topics. We're going to talk about the mental health crisis on college campuses, academic stress. We're going to go over coping strategies after everything that we talk about. We're going to talk about eating disorders. And then we're also going to talk about campus resources, especially the ones that you can find here at UM-Dearborn. And then we'll do a little conclusion. So, as many of you are probably aware, if you are a college student, that mental health isn't doing very good on college campuses right now. We're kind of in the middle of a little bit of a crisis with it. 44% of college students report experiences of depression, 37% with anxiety, and 15% have had thoughts of suicide. Now, 44% is a very large percentage considering that that is almost 50%. So it's kind of insane to think that almost half of all college students have, reported experiences of feeling down or depressed or sad. And, we need to work to fix that. We need to do something as a college campus.
Okay, so we're going to talk about some academic stress and anxiety, and that includes academic performance and testing anxiety, time management, finances, social support, and social anxiety. The first one is academic performance and testing anxiety. The consequential struggling structure to academic performance are emotional health challenges, and that includes anxiety, stress, depression, and a lack of sleep. What causes test anxiety? These are just some causes. And the first one is trying to meet other people's expectations, fear of letting people down, such as yourself and or your parents when you get a bad grade, letting grades define who you are. When we do get bad grades, sometimes we tend to think or feel that we're not good enough or we're not smart enough or we're just not doing enough, and letting guilt overpower due to lack of preparation. And some of the coping strategies, first one is by preparing well, giving yourself enough time to learn the material better, um, joining a study group and finding a skilled tutor to better help you understand some materials better that you're struggling with and to better prepare for an exam. And being good to yourself, avoiding negative thoughts and thinking such as you're gonna do very badly on an exam or that you're not prepared enough to do well on a test. Instead, consider rational thinking and visualizing success, giving yourself positive affirmations that you're going to pass the exam and that you're going to do a good job. And relax using deep breathing exercises and doing yoga. It helps you meditate and calm your mind and your body better. And of course, getting an adequate sleep. The next one is time management. And according to a 2015 Student Engagement Insight Survey by Cengage, 53% of college students, they claim to struggle more with time management in college than in high school. And 78% of students also claim to struggle with time management throughout their whole college experience, with an additional 9% claiming that they always struggle with time management. And some common effects of poor time management includes having lack of sleep, declining academic performances, chronic procrastination, having poor diet, and an increased risk of dropping out of school. And some coping strategies to have better time management includes creating a calendar or having a planner to plan your schedule ahead of time and setting a reminder for yourself so you know what task is coming up and you can better prepare for it. Identifying time wasters and also setting goals for yourself and your task. Using tools that actually works for you, such as having a journal and finding support from academic resource center and taking time off and rewarding yourself.
All right. Another thing that causes stress within college students is finances. As we all know, college can be pretty expensive. And also, if you even if you moved out and you're even if you didn't move out and you're still living with your parents, you still are getting that sense of being on your own and freedom. It's very different than high school. So it's all very different for us. Sometimes we struggle. Sometimes we don't have people to fall back on, or too scared to ask for help. You know, you might be too scared to ask somebody to for some money if you're coming up short, or you might not exactly have family that you can ask for money here and there. And being a full-time or even a part-time student takes up most of your time. So working a job on top of that can cause you a lot of stress, especially if you're working a part-time job and being a part-time student, that still probably equals more than 40 hours a week. So some coping strategies for struggling with your finances and having that kind of stress brought into your life is to practice good budgeting habits. A good way to start is to differentiate between your wants and your needs. You know, you always want to prioritize what you need first and then put what you want kind of on the side until you can get to it. Building an emergency fund if possible, especially if if your car breaks down and you have to end up spending a lot of money on it, and then you don't have that cushion and you're all of a sudden really stressed about how you're going to make rent. It's really nice to, if possible, try to build up a little bit of an emergency fund for that. Try to involve your family, ask for help, ask for advice. It's really hard to do things on your own, so try to not do everything on your own when you can. And overestimate your expenses and underestimate income. That way, you'll have more money left over than you were originally planning, which can feel like a nice little surprise. And also try not to overwork yourself. I know that that is a lot easier said than done, especially if you are working while going to school. But if at all possible, try to, give yourself some time to breathe, even if that means turning down a shift, Giving yourself that time to breathe really can make the world of a difference when it comes to your mental health. And then there are family stressors. If you are moved away, like let's say you're an international student or you just flat out aren't from the area and you move to go to school here, you can miss your family a lot, especially if you're living really far away. And it's hard to stay in touch when you move out with your family and you experience a form of grief. Now, I mean, they didn't pass away or anything, but you're grieving the loss of that connection, of seeing them so often, of having family dinners together. And even if you are still living with your parents and you commute, that can also be stressful because you're not getting the sense of privacy you want. You might have little siblings that are running around. It's really hard to study for an upcoming exam. And there also just might be a lack of boundaries within the household, and that can create a lot of stress on your life too. And here are some strategies on how to deal with that. If you still live at home, try not to spend too much time there. If you can, try to do a lot of work on campus, give yourself that space. The library, the ELB, the Natural Science Building, those are all my favorite places to study on campus. And try to make sure that you spend time with friends. Give yourself a life outside of your house. Go get coffee with your friends every once in a while. Make sure you create a new environment. And also try to set boundaries. I know that that is also a lot easier said than done. But if you can, maybe ask your parents if maybe you had a later curfew or you didn't have a curfew at all. Things like that. And if you are away from home, try to use technology to the best you can to stay in touch. I know personally, I'm not from this area, so I'm quite a bit away from my parents. And what my family does is we try to set up Zoom calls every once in a while with me, my sister, and my parents. And that's really nice. It's a lot better than a phone call because I can see them and it feels a little bit more intimate. Try to talk to people here about how you feel, whether it's another student who is also away from home and is experiencing this. Or as always, CAPS is always available. You are always welcome to talk to either a mental health and wellness peer educator or a licensed clinician. And just know that what you feel is normal. It is normal to miss them. It is normal to feel, alone, scared, and give yourself that time to adjust. And then another stressor is social anxiety and making friends. Making new friends after leaving high school is very scary. It can be very awkward. You went to school with people, at least in my case, that you grew up knowing, people you've pretty much known your whole life, and then you have to go and try to make friends as an adult. It's scary. And you might be scared of being potentially socially awkward, embarrassing yourself. But it really is crucial to both your mental health and college experience that you are getting, that you're being social, but you build yourself a sense of community at college. And it makes your classes a lot easier and a lot more fun when there's people there, people that you can talk about or talk to. And trust me, people are not as judgmental as you think. Everybody here wants to make friends. It's very hard to go through college alone. So it never hurts to try. And here are some ways to overcome that. The easiest way to make friends, like I said, is talking to people in your classes. You already have a common interest, and it's very easy to plan like a hangout time if you ask to study together. Also, attend on-campus events, whether that be, like a movie night they have at the UC patio, or just like a student organization event. Those are really good places to meet people that have your common interest. Also, join student organizations. You are joining a group of people that already have something in common with you. Very easy way to flow conversation, very easy way to get to know people better. And another thing you can try to do is practice starting conversations with yourself in the mirror. It's kind of like how you would practice a speech or presentation a couple times the night before. It's a lot easier to go up and do it and, in a sense, perform if you feel less nervous doing it. So it doesn't hurt to, try a couple opening lines in the mirror, maybe practice a couple compliments that could start a conversation, things like that. And as always, CAPS, we are always here for anybody to talk to about anything. And we have so many resources that we can give out.
Okay, so some students, of course, also suffer from eating disorders, and some of the causes include stress and anxiety, depression, and other mental health conditions, independence. Some students are on their own, providing for themselves, and they try to balance their work and school, and they don't really find the time to take care of themselves. Personality traits such as excessive thinking, hypersensitivity, impulsivity, and perfectionism, body image, and social media influence. Sometimes we see models and actors and athletes, and we start comparing ourselves to how they look and how we want to look our best too. So sometimes that kind of causes us to have a very unhealthy diet. And some of the coping strategies that includes finding support from college counseling center. And this can also include having support from your friends and your family at home, and letting go of those comparisons, reconnecting with your body, and most importantly, practicing self-love and acceptance and knowing what you value most. And here are some of the UM-Dearborn resources. The first one is called Silver Cloud. It's something that you can do online, and it helps you manage your day-to-day stresses and anxiety. It also helps improve resilience and learn skills to understand thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. And it also helps reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety. The second one is called Insight Timer. It's a mobile app, it's free, and it gives you guided meditations, music tracks for relieving stress and improve sleep. And it also gives you ways to cope with challenges and addressing many other facets of well-being and flourishing. And the third one is called Healthy Minds Program. It's also a free mobile app, and it offers guided practices and podcast lessons to support mindfulness and meditation practices.
Keep forgetting that I mute myself. All right. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to our Mental Health Monday presentation. If you have any questions whatsoever, or if you're looking for more resources on anything, feel free to contact CAPS, Counseling and Psychological Services. We are located on the second floor of the University Center in 2157. I have our phone number listed that you can call during the day, but if you're ever in crisis and it's after hours and you need somebody to talk to, I also have our crisis line listed as well, completely free, completely confidential, and our email as well if you want to just email questions instead of saying them over the phone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.